Okay.
Where's the
They're done. I mean, like, I mean, I guess.
I
I guess.
guess.
I mean, if the first snap is in the end zone, I mean, they're gonna win. But
So it's like how many touchdowns is Pat Mahomes throwing for?
no, I think it's gonna be. To be honest, I'll lay it out there. It's gonna be a tighter game than people expect, but the Chiefs are still taking it.
Maybe in the first half. I'll say
It's like
second half it gets blown open.
I don't know, like anything can happen in a single elimination game, right? So
Yeah,
anything can happen, like a
yeah.
pick or a
That
bad
begs
throw.
the question though, that because when the like for example when the second seed doesn't get has to play their first week, like they're in rhythm. The Chiefs didn't play a game; they might not be in rhythm. So that's what I'm saying. Second half might be where the game like we'll see what's going on. Well, obviously that's when we're gonna see what happens, but I feel like that's when the Chiefs will be back in stride. But yeah, it was a good run for the Browns, I think.
We'll close that chapter. Browns will be the Browns.
Brownsville clapped as
Okay.
Claypool says. Okay, and NFC. I guess we were both expecting the Seahawks to get out of that, and Mo did too. Our last guess, but
Exactly.
unfortunately, they couldn't get the job done with.
I don't want to like Luska. I'm just gonna say we're not gonna talk about this because yeah, Seahawks let us down. The Rams are injured. An injured Rams team when your number one receiver Cooper Kupp hurt,
Mm.
Aaron Donald hurt, Jared Goff. No one can high five him because his thumb is
Oh,
messed up.
I noticed that too. For like one of his first series, he got down, and one of his linemen like reached down to get his hand, and he had to like switch hands to forward because
Like yeah,
he
I mean, and
can't even grip like his teammate to get picked up. And I think it's all karma because Jamal Adams and his guitar. It's so funny seeing all the receipts coming out after a team loses. Like, man, you talk all that smoke and you get smoked,
yeah,
unfortunately.
we're just gonna gloss over. So yeah, Blesky, that's why I'm like, to be honest, we're just gonna gloss over that matchup.
All right, yeah, let's move on. Let's move
So because
on.
I already know that
Okay.
it's yeah, you're playing. Yeah, imagine trying to play a football game with a hand tied behind your back.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And then obviously the Bucks versus Washington. Bucks didn't put up 40 this week,
mhm.
but Washington put up a fight. Mr. Heineken, he was
Like
a story. Even though the Bucks made the three, he was really the story of the game. That corner run he threw, and in the second half, it was a beautifully placed ball. He was a bright spot for sure. Chase Young didn't get to where he wanted to go, but I respect what he was saying before. He of course I want to get Tom Brady. Like that's what I'm here for, and it's like a dream. And he's getting his jersey sent to him through mail now, and back to the next year. Tom Brady, Tom Brady now. He's moving on to face an old nemesis after the Saints take care of the Bears, which
yeah,
is
that
which
game was
is
awkward.
with a Nickelodeon
Yeah, I
spot.
don't like. I saw all the funny stuff about that. It just killed me. What is it? Mitch Trubisky is the MVP, Nickelodeon valuable player or not the valuable player. I think
Yeah, yeah.
but that's
That's
really awkward. And I feel like I saw another meme too where it's talking about how the Bucks and the Saints game they should have that on the History Channel because
yeah. Tom Brady tweeted that. He tweeted the picture of him with the gray beard and hair, and then Drew Brees with the glasses. Yeah, Saints. Mike Thomas. They, I think, I think they got something sparking over there. So I'm really excited to watch that game because just I feel like it has a little more edge to it because of the stakes of the marquee matchup between Drew and Tom Brady. Like no matter what, they're sleeping with that, like in that in their head. Like I want to come out top. Like if I'm Drew Brees, Tom Brady came to my division, I'd be cheesed. You gotta take care of business. So who do you got on that?
okay, well, yeah, my my final parting thoughts on that is, dude, look at it this way. The Saints beat the Bucks twice already, right? And pretty badly too. And there's two ways to look at this. Number one is the matchup, the way that they play, the styles, they collide, and the Saints have won both matchups because they're matched up really well. Like the pressure that the New Orleans Saints defensive line is able to apply on the offensive line of the Bucks, and Tom Brady not being able to handle the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You got Marshawn Lattimore, who's able to fight with Mike Evans, although you got Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin.
Who's come alive? Antonio Brown is back.
That's scary, but I think I want to say the Saints. I like the Saints too. I really want them to win, but it's so hard in the NFL to be able to win 3 games against any team, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I could see the Bucks making it interesting. I want to say the Saints, but I think it's a toss-up.
Mm-hmm. Man, I want to see Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. So I just need that in my life. NFC Championship, I need that once. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I want to see it. So I want Tom to get it
That's
out.
okay.
See if he's Mr. Goat. Well, Mr. Goat. You're always bringing Mr. Goat up. So let's see what he's made of. Let's go.
Rodgers is losing anyways. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well,
Get
do you
out
think
of
he's
it.
losing this weekend against the Rams?
No, no. This is why we didn't talk
No.
about it.
No,
Next
we're
week.
eating this weekend.
Next week. He's done. He's done. Write it down. Write the check.
Well, I guess that's our pick right there. Packers over the Rams, easy peasy, and then it brings us to, we'll see you guys next time with a review of the NFC Championship. But whoa, did you hear that?
What was that?
I think it's time for the overtime period, which is hashtag sponsored by absolutely no one. I don't know why I added the hashtag there this time, but well, what do you got for us this time, Alan?
Okay. So this question that I literally just cooked up really, really quickly is about the idea of, and it's kind of a callback to our last episode when we had Mo on, and he was talking about how in high school, like he wore that traditional clothing of his Sudanese culture, and like people called him out for being a little bit different, but he was able to keep it in, and like because of his strength of character and how his confidence that God gave him, because that's what he said. Quote him on that, tag him on that, hashtag on that. Yeah, the confidence that gave him like the strength to like do that, be different. And so the question I will have for you, Pleska, it's tell me about the importance of originality, like
Ooh.
your experience of originality and how difficult it is for you to be original, or is it something that you don't find as important?
That's a good question. First of all, shout out to Mo. Got me this all special. But in terms of originality, I guess for me, growing up, when I started like realizing that the way I thought, the way I went about my days, where it's a little more different than people, I guess,
Mhm.
just because of my background, just because French speaking, just because everything that puts in the mouth about how many sports I was doing, how busy I was working, shopping, whatever. That my direction was a little like different to everybody because I had different aspirations, and even my character, the things I like, watching anime, being obsessed with like the NBA, the Packers, playing Legend of Zelda, all those things that made me be what wasn't necessarily like the most like pop culture type stuff, So it to me, originality, it was important because it really made me feel unique. All your life you're told, be yourself, be unique. And it wasn't until I was a little bit older that I understood that that's your rock, because like if you're just gonna be the same as everybody else, like once you're by yourself, like you really start to question your identity because you've been basing your identity on like maybe a celebrity, maybe on this, on that. But then I guess that's what it means. Like to me, being original is literally, staying close to what brought you up as a child at home and just going, going with the punches. It's like
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me dig into this
okay,
because
let's go.
yeah, when I thought of this question, I didn't expect it to. Yeah, like I'm like a little shocked right now because I didn't. Yeah, like I vibe with what you're saying, Boska, and I think for myself too, growing up, and I remember just basically through like elementary school and even through high school,
Mm,
like I did have a lack of confidence that prevented me from trying to do different things. And just by that, it kind of influenced in what I would like to do and what I like. It's easier to stick to a crowd and not be original and not to stand out, right? But I
mhm,
think as I got out of that phase and get into university and just having more time, even by myself, just to figure out like, hey, like I want to do something like, dude, yo, like like you said in anime, right? Like not many
mhm,
people pick that up, and I picked that up, and it's something that like, yeah, I just keep low key. But if someone's talking about it, like I'm down to discuss. But it's so like I find like originality is important, right? And like you said, it's a rock for certain people. Not to say like similar to what Mo mentioned, not just and although like I kind of conflict with that when he talked about it's not, you don't do certain things just to be seen as different, right?
mhm,
Because that makes sense, but I believe that if you do something different and it's important for you, I think that's fine, right? And like that's what I like, to be honest, I'll admit that's what I appreciate, and that's what I probably value a lot when it comes to other people and the people that I spend time with, is that
mhm,
they have something that is like interesting, they stand out, and there's something about them that like catches my attention.
mhm,
Like yeah, if you're doing your own thing, if you're doing something different, it just like there's a different feeling that comes from that, and it's just super interesting, right?
mhm,
And that's why I appreciate it in my friends and stuff. But yeah, like dude, I don't know, originality is something that I still struggle with, and it's hard to be like your own person sometimes because there's so
mhm.
many pressures, right?
There is, and especially when you're surrounded by people, and especially when it's like groups of people. Because when sometimes when you're in a group of people, it's easy, that herd mentality. Everybody's just going this way, so it's going that way. It's like I still have this memory of me like in grade one, or it was in grade three. I was just it was a recess, and everybody was playing like kickball. It was grade six. I think it was grade six. Everybody was playing kickball at recess, and I was like, man.
Or Foursquare?
No, kickball, like like you roll the ball. It's like baseball, but
Yeah, yeah,
kickball.
yeah. Okay.
Everybody's playing kickball, and I was like, man, I don't want to play kickball right now. And I just like literally just chilled by myself all recess. I was just, like literally everybody just kept playing kickball, and I was just doing my own thing. It's like, man, the world keeps spinning, whether you're in it or not. So figure out, who you are, what makes you you without the herd, and then it'll be easier to identify yourself, your originality compared to people when you're in public, in the masses. That makes you more comfortable in your own skin. Makes you,
Exactly.
and because that's what matters. Because at the end of the day, my mom always tells me this all the time, that in French, le salut est individuel. And if you, I don't know if you remember like religion class, but like the salut is like the end of life,
Okay.
like the end of the moksha, which is like that cycle of life, or the cycle of like reincarnation. At the end of that, in Buddhism or Hinduism, one of those. But at the end of that, it's literally you and your soul, and no one else's. You're just you and your actions and who you are, and like no one can can really deter you from your destiny or what you're meant to do, because it's all your choice, and you die alone. So
Exactly. I mean, it's sad to know, but you wake up by yourself and then you die by yourself, right? So
yeah.
being original, do your best to stand out and be someone who isn't afraid to do something different, be away from the crowd. Yeah, just put your best foot out there and don't care if people see you or not, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one who lives with your decisions, and at the end of the day, it's you're the one who's gonna enjoy the attention, if there is any, or your small world that you create for yourself. So
I have nothing to say to that other than
just well, or
skill.
thank you, listeners, for today, and we have an exciting guest next time. But as always, Buska
Yeah, this one, peace. Thank you for listening.
signing off.